Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The tables have shuffled, the standings have jiggled, and well, there is still a long way to go. There's still a long way to go. There's 4 games of PUBG action. This time, it's a relatively decent plane. Everybody can get to their home location or maybe a couple of backup locations. We'll see whether FaZe do adjust. Okay, m19 was totally possible there, but they've chose to go south.
Stick by your guns, and we're getting a couple of southern circles, so maybe that prompts this slight adjustment. Or maybe they're even playing better. I suppose it all comes down to what you feel most comfortable with. In terms of point standings, well, G2 have opened up 2 potential positions now, and don't get me wrong, NIP's performance was absolutely fantastic. It was a 20-point bomb of a game, and it's put them in 3rd place now. It's not solid, and actually they're only 10 points behind Liquid, so a couple of bad games out of Liquid, and it would have to be a good few bad games.
And look, there's a lot of money.
They'd be dropping down there.
A lot of money between those places. You know, it's, was it 225,000, I think, total. Through the season. 50K, I believe, is 2nd place. So, you know, that's a big old chunk of change that these guys are trying to chase down.
The first phase of part 1.
That's it, yeah.
3 in a season.
There's a lot of money on the line. And these teams, of course, you know, we're all talking about the top 4 places, but we should mention that money can be a factor. And NIP are going to be looking at that and thinking, well, now we've had that game, why can we not have more? Jokers and Windstrike dropping up to the north, of course, back to their homeland, and that circle will favor them. And of course, NIP will have the choice of location. FaZe, well, you can see it's going to be a simple rotate for them. That's why they've probably gone down that way. Maybe thinking Monte Nuevo would have been better. G2, of course, are going to probably have the trickiest rotate from Al Azhar. We'll see whether they go north.
So with a circle like this, very central focus, there are a lot of paths into it, and not too much hard terrain. Obviously, you do have this mountainside around where you're looking at Windstrike at the moment. They do have vehicles by the means of it, and it looks like Wookie is actually taking a couple of pop shots at them, but it should be a fair game for everybody and a fairly straightforward rotate for most. The biggest thing that's kind of alluding to everyone now is the fact that NIP have got a target on the back, in my opinion, because these 2 spots that are open, if you want to go for it, not only do you have to start going after teams and chasing the kills and chasing the points, but you want to be chasing the placements of the teams that are basically your worst enemy, who are very closest to on that board.
I mean, they just briefly mentioned it on the desk, talking about how some of their positions, especially the Lipovka play, is kind of stunting the nose a little bit of, you know, FaZe down to an extent. Definitely the Knights. Actually, you know, now I think about it, I don't think the Knights have actually done that well since Lipovka started to be hit by NIP. I'm trying to think of the downfall of the Knights, because they had a really good first week. And then maybe that's just, I don't know, knock them out of the comfort zone. Maybe that's just a part of it. But either way, then you've also got, obviously, Ensa in the north. You know, they're looking at the circles. And bearing in mind, obviously, I'm thinking Erangel mainly here, not so much on this map, because obviously they dropped San Martin, their closest person to them is TSM. But on Erangel, especially with the Lipovka play, the compounds, and bearing in mind we've had, I think, 10, maybe 12 circles on that eastern sort of mansion area. We've had a lot either way on Erangel. And there's obviously everybody wants to get their own compounds. We were talking about in the previous matchup how a lot of the teams went to the exact same spots of the previous game yesterday in the exact same circle, and just some small adjustments. Now, once people start getting these little favorite compounds they like to go to, for various reasons, whether it be a good sight line or easily defensible or good spot to rotate from, whatever reasons they want it, if somebody else suddenly goes into it, it upsets another team, and then that may force them to go to another spot, and it's like a domino effect that could have some tragic consequences.
Small note on Windstrike, they were no gear whatsoever there. They were only just turning up to El Pozo with those vehicles.
They had all 4 in a vehicle.
I mean, thankfully that, you know, they're inside the circle, and not necessarily all the way in the middle, but they are pretty deep anyway, so they should be okay. The rotates will be starting to kick off rather sharpish. TSM are actually pushing in the back of NIP, which is a ballsy play, but it's also quite dangerous on their side. We caught a quick glimpse in the fact that they are eyeing up this area. You've got Miraku up high, he'll be able to read the information and pass it on. Vard will go flying by, so Gustav will be able to hear that vehicle. Rawryy hasn't shown his face just yet, so it all depends what Miraku can see, you can see the DMRs. Will they back off from this and just say no?
They wanted to get that compound above the northern,
yeah, they were
northern one
looking
above
for
San
it, wasn't
Martin.
there? There was scouting, which gives them that info. The question is, can Wookie find a scalp? He's got the 24. If he lays the hammer down and gets a pick, it might be the doorway that TSM need.
Well, TSM currently in 8th place. They are more than likely, barring a miracle day of like mammoth proportions, which, judging by their first match, is probably not going to happen. They need to have some mighty points. But, of course, I was talking about the money that is involved in that top 8, and they are on the bubble right now with Red Diamonds catching them a little bit in the previous matchup. Dream for you. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's a story of days gone by. We've seen many times. Did he not realise that one didn't survive that?
He jumped out.
Well, no, there was 2 in the car. One died, but the other survived. And I think he's just thought, I've got the kill, that's it. Oh, Vard! Oh, my word. NIP have lost a player here. Jazz are catching him in the back, and the nade confirms it. So we were just watching NIP a moment ago. TSM are moving up that hill, by the way. We're looking at Vitality. TSM are coming up to the right-hand side right now. As NIP. This was the spot. We saw TSM scouting for it, and they kind of wanted a piece of it. Backed away because NIP are there. But Vitality just come out of the graveyard in Minas Generalis and took it from them.
And this is where we see TSM take full advantage of this and maybe move up. And again, a bit of an aggressive push from Jazza. It was a scouting point, but the position that TSM may have wanted to take up on top of the mountain might now be dominated by Vitality. TSM are in a very, very wide split here. No big gun on the back there, but certainly level 3 gear.
They've got to be careful. ENCE are coming in behind them. They're rotating in behind them at TSM are. Got to be careful because their backs are going to be very exposed. They're continuing to have a little look at the angles on Vitality. Rotations, of course, moving in. FaZe Clan look like they're going for a 2-2. Oh, what has happened here? Down the bottom. Is that someone's been caught for FaZe Clan? They've been knocked out of their vehicle by Digital Athletics. Don't really know who it is, but we were talking about TSM and Vitality. Jazz has been caught. No, his vehicle's running away down the hill. The rest of his team had moved away from this. And Wookie has just caught NATUS and confirmed that as well. Vitality losing 2. Monkey pushes close, but TSM looking to try and benefit from the misery of Vitality here. mykLe on the push, Monkey ready.
We spoke about Wookie being able to get a pick on this one. You can see Gustav's taken the high road. 2 members of TSM down low.
While this is playing out, by the way, Mex is the one that's been knocked out of his vehicle. I think he's got back in it. And Uber was trying to cover him off. That's happening way out south of Monte Nuevo. So FaZe in a little bit of trouble
Gustav
at the moment.
found Jazza while that was going on, Lee. So is that Vitality down to 1?
Yeah, no, that was just to confirm. He was already knocked there. I think Monkey, I don't know where Vitality's other players, where's Shadow hiding? Because Monkey's there, Shadow's in the compound. There we go.
That's fair. So Monkey can try and hold these guys back with as many
Trifoli's coming up behind them still.
Show feathers as potential. This is like TSM's worst nightmare, this.
ENCE just sniffing the waters. It's like, oh, there's a bit of action up here. Let's go check it out, shall we? And just sneaking their way up top, having a little peek.
The only thing that this is doing for both, it's a negative response, to be honest with you, is, as you can see on screen, the nades, the smokes, all the utility is being used, and there's a lot of time being wasted here. Okay, it might be good time when we talk about position. This might get them basically king of the hill. But all this is happening, they're giving away like so much info for ENCE and NIP, who are basically either side of them.
Oh, gee, that's trouble for Jokers there. Did you just spot that? They were downhill and in smoke. They just got a knockback on their feet. G2 right on top of them. The circle will shift. It puts FaZe in a pretty decent spot. Jokers do manage to get in their vehicles and away, disengage. I don't know if they realize how close they were to G2, about to smack them in the back of the head there, but they will get away with it. The circle, though, shifts, and it's a pretty heavy shift. It's going to cause some problems for some of these teams. FaZe Clan front and center, along with Red Diamonds. They've got themselves both decent compounds. The Knights, I feel, are in a pretty extended 2-2 split, so they're going to be careful of that. Monkey now looks like he's about to be pushed by rawryy and mykLe. I thought he was going to flash him in.
AWM just being picked up. mykLe gets copped off guard, unfortunately. rawryy, be careful, my friend. As soon as you go around that corner, you got to deal with 2 death from above. Monkey lays the smackdown with the AKM and just batters 2 members of TSM to the side.
Tab does get
they got him.
taken and finished, and TSM, finished off there. So Vitality lost 2 in the process, but they are gone. Not good for them, not good. Gustav's the last man standing, actually. That's why. Yeah, why did that say eliminated? Gustav is still standing. I'm just looking at the map.
Okay, yeah, that's why I was, because he was crawling.
Wow, look at the rotation from Ents.
So they're not out just yet. Let's rectify that one.
Ents were right behind Vitality and TSM there on the edge of San Martin. They've gone all the way south. They've gone past Picado. They're continuing round, and they're going to come in sort of Monte Nuevo side. They've done a really big rotate to get in position.
Gustav is still with Vitality, just lingering in the dust. And out Jens, the last man standing. If you want a last man standing, it's him as well. He can defend himself. NIP will opt to go a more central area. They're looking onwards towards Power Grid at the moment, but they need to be careful because that's a very hot spot in terms of the Knights. There's only 2 of them there, though, so they make it lucky because they've set up shop either side of the road. And so transition as well across map, try and find a better position compared to where they are now. They have to be careful, though. We've got NAVI to the right-hand side and CROWCROWD to the left on screen. They
just spotted BatulinS on the bike, didn't they? So they've immediately moved away, which is why they've moved into the hillside towards CROWCROWD, but there's just ALFPLAYS there, so...
Might be a good read from, if NIP managed to get into it up on the Power Grid, the back building, where you can stand up on top of the elevated line of sight and look through the gaps of the hangar at the back. It'd be a very nice
exact same spot they were in before, if you remember that.
Funny enough, against the Knights as well.
Yeah, against the Knights.
And this is where we saw actually, that's where we saw the big fight from Vitality came through. They got shut down by NIP. They used all the grenades, and then the Knights pretty much got away with murder.
And G2 coming in free on the back of San Martin as well.
It's not often you see this happen. Been able to drive through this bottleneck completely unchallenged.
Oh, dream for you, pulling up on Squeaky. Not sure that's a fight I'd fancy, but he's going to go for it. It's played pretty well, but Squeaky has been smashing it. And ALFPLAYS is about to get a perfect flank on him. He comes around the side. Squeaky tucks himself in. And now on this roof is just going to sniff the angles. Here's the feet. Here's the car. He might go looking with that car. In fact, as soon as he hears the shots, they've no idea he's there, have they? They've got to have seen his vehicle, right? The bike's there.
Well, they'll be wondering. I mean, you should be using that and thinking there's someone lingering around here. There's no reason why they wouldn't be.
I'm not sure ALFPLAYS really took attention to the fact that there's a bike there. I think the Squeaky could have completely caught him off guard there, but this circle has shifted. It's gone towards Power Grid. We kind of expected it. You got Pozo, San Martin, Monte Nuevo. It's kind of centered up between the 4 cities. And we've had a circle obviously finishing off here before. It means that FaZe kind of going to make a move, and they're going across the road, and it's going straight into Red Diamonds. I'm not sure that's a great play. Red Diamonds are lighting them up at the moment. We can see it on the map feed. Team Liquid also making the moves on the hills, but FaZe are getting absolutely peppered as they try and drive by. There goes Fuzzface. Next, he's got 2 in the car. Uber in the distance. They managed to make it to the ditch. Will Uber be able to fly in and get safe? Looks like it's just going to be a 1 loss for now. M19, they're getting themselves a crate there. That's going to be an AWM going to that man.
FaZe are ahead of the game and further in than 1M19 and Team Liquid. And actually, Digital Ethics asked, but they have lost 1 man, so they need to be extremely careful.
Windstrike have engaged Raise Your Edge, surprisingly on the edge of the circle in the north.
FaZe won't have the best cover. I mean, that ditch is okay, but it's a bowl when we talk about grenades going up and over. And all right, there's a couple of I think there's only really 1 line of sight. But you have to be aware because that 1 line of sight is rather exposed from the backside if Red Diamonds do opt to take that hillside. Gustav, unfortunately. We did see TSM going out in 16th, at least it said on the screen earlier on. It might be jinxing it now because Gustav staring down the barrel actually hits Kane in the buildings. That'll mean that in the 2-2 split engagement, and there we have it. Now it's confirmed, unfortunately.
He got the kill, though, didn't he? He got the kill on Kane, so he took 1 off G2, and now TSM do go down. So, obviously, the in-game engine pre-predicting that TSM will go out in 16th place.
What a shot.
Yeah, it was a cheeky little dink. And there is Gustav.
F.
So FaZe have actually managed to get all the way up towards Power Station. They're sort of just outside, and right in that little ditch is the one that the Knights used, if you remember, in that game they had a close battle in. Jokers did just pick up a kill a moment ago, but they have lost a single member in the fight. It wasn't this fight. They lost one to G2 earlier on. Senya, though, down low there, quite separated. Joker's got an interesting spread with rawryy and Windstrike all sort of spread around this same area.
So FaZe have lost one, G2 have lost one, NIP have lost one.
TSM have lost 4.
You had to do it to them. Knights, well, they haven't lost anybody, but they're in a very big spread. Okay, they've gone to try and, you know, batter most of the circle and try and dominate it, but it's 2-2, very, very, very open ground between them.
I'm interested to see whether M19 are fancying taking this fight on. They're in the back of the power grid behind NIP. To see whether they get forced to push in there. The CupofMagic will go down. Timmy caught in, pulls on the side, and catches wanted out as well. So rawryy finally being pressured. The circle does center. It's a similar circle to what we've seen before. We've seen this finish already. I think it was back on week 2. And the Knights are going to move up the hill. They're going to rejoin. FaZe Clan might try and catch them out on that move. Vitality also trying to make the move. Only 2 alive, and that's the 2 in the car right now as they come up behind ELITEPLAYER. Cooking that nade, waiting for it to happen. Joker's meanwhile, oh, he tries to switch weapon. Can he get Fastrail down? He's getting hit from multiple angles. Kemba will catch him, and rawryy down in 15th.
Digital Athletics have just turned up to the party where FaZe Clan and Red Diamonds now need to make something happen. They're still holding that angle. And again, it's a really strong position when you look at the ditches and divots that they have and they can play off the back of. You can lay down and just completely deny line of sight from uphill or down. But Digital Athletics and Red Diamonds have given FaZe a bit of a beating throughout this competition in individual fights so far. Whether or not they can come out on this one's a different question altogether. Windstrike, rawryy, unfortunately going down in that one as well. Joker's one of them set off on a solo mission. Senya's held back in the blue at gunpoint by Timmy and Tixu.
I'm confused by the spread that Jokers are playing. Like Senya down there, Kemba there, D-Mash in the offensive zone. Why are they all so spread? I mean, like, if you're going to split off, go 2-2s. You have support. You can get revived. There's a reason you do this. If you're solo, you get downed. That's you done.
Now this plays dividends for FaZe because these are the 2 teams that have kind of been knocking on the door. DA and Red Diamonds are in front of them. They're also about to get kicked in the back, unfortunately, by Ents who are creeping up the hill. They can kind of watch this unfold. They might stick their head up, just lean over the trenches with the guns and maybe steal a few kills, but it is a downhill battle, so...
FaZe are going looking for this. FaZe are coming in behind DA. FaZe are coming in behind DA right now. So DA are watching this. Look at, you can see in the minimap, they're starting to creep into view. They're having a good look at what's going on. They're hearing a lot of the action. And Jokers, meanwhile, they're going to lose Kemba and Senya. So they're down to 1. The Jokers, who of course were in hot pursuit. At the top of the table, we're talking about that stab in the back. Here comes Ents. They just destroy Red Diamonds in a matter of seconds.
And just like that, a team is removed from the server instantly. They're still creeping and peeping, but now the Knights have actually wanted to get involved in this one. That's turned FaZe's attention. They don't know if FaZe is down in the ditch. Well,
Ents are about to get a few more kills. Here comes CROWCROWD.
FaZe are surrounded by the Knights at the moment, and they have the height advantage as well, so they're in dangerous territory. They've held their guns for now. NAVI up and over. Recrent might get an island on James, who hits the dirt. Samty's giving away the position. Nades in hand, they're ready to throw these bad boys. They've got DMRs on the back lines for the range. They
don't know about myk'Az, do they? They have no idea about myk'Az in here. Pops out, gets a hit. Now, Iroh actually caught Trifoli in that play. Rustamar does pop out and get ALFPLAYS down. Hens looking to try and confirm what they can. Samty, meanwhile, in the foreground here, about to creep over the top. Recrent's got nade in hand for James, but Samty will just catch him off guard. Don't think he expected to go for that one. He will manage to get James back up here, Manuel. Bearing in mind, Team Liquid, they are being chased by NIP, who are sitting quite comfortably on their own in Power Grid. They've got 3 alive and are untouched. And there you go. Not too surprising to see Ents, the #1 team, dispatching of CROWCROWD and collecting, I think, 7 kills and counting now.
And now they're continuing on to Digital Athletics. So this might be the 3rd team that they've wiped out from this map. They are
proving their dominance here.
Freaking unit. They've also just been gifted a crate. It's landed on top, so they'll get geared up as well.
Squeaky as well, yes.
Not as if they were strong enough as it was.
Uh-oh, here goes 2 more.
This could literally be the 3rd team they've wiped out in about 30 seconds.
I was just gone a little wide. Trifoli coming around the side. He's already got the flanker. Look at Rustamar. He's coming over the top. He's the top fragger right now. The young lad who went home, by the way, in between week 1 and 2 and did his exams, and then came back and said, yeah, it's time to top frag in this this top league in Europe.
Oh my God, they've just banged out 3 teams. They've literally just smashed 3 teams around.
Yeah. So that's Red Diamonds, CROWCROWD, and Digital Athletics that ENCE have now dispatched of.
I feel like they're smurfing in this lobby, honestly. It's just...
I'll tell you what, FaZe have just engaged and finished off NAVI there. FaZe almost engaged in the back of that, and I bet they're thinking, I'm glad we didn't, because they would have got caught in the crossfire if ENCE.
How's Liquid doing? Samty and Jempty, the Brother and I'm still alive. I did see a couple of deaths coming out on their side, unfortunately. So
49 points clear now.
They're not messing around, are they? I mean, do it in fashion or don't do it at all, let's be honest here.
I mean, obviously we were talking about Tempo Storm and how they dominated in North America, but ENCE here have just destroyed everyone. When it counts, they will step up and absolutely deliver.
I think it's a combination of individual skill, but it's their commitment. They literally move as a full unit. It's so fluid. There's their teamwork and how they move together. They commit somewhere. They say, okay, this is what we're doing. Let's stick to the plan. Let's not go, you know. Their pushes are never scrappy. But then you combine that with their individual skill, and honestly, they're freaks. NIP, they now need to move. The circle goes away from them.
Let's talk about the circle setup, because look what we have. We have G2 in there. We have NIP in there. We have Team Liquid and ENCE who are actually fighting one another. We got FaZe Clan, Winstrike, Jokers. Everybody that is in that top bundle right now is all in the mix in the top 9 teams.
And Trifly's gotten home. So why not throw that one in the mix as well? I think that might be the second set of level 3 gear they've got a hold of us.
M19 have got, I think, an Orm as well. I saw them picking one up. So there's 2 Orms in play. Winstrike catch out D-Mash. That's the Joker's gone. 9th place for them as we now hit the points in the top 8.
Looks like G2 have smelled this argument and want to get involved. Chris is there. Brexico front and center also.
Wanderer's got an angle.
I'm hearing this. I actually heard a silenced AWM there. It's
that nade's coming.
At the top.
Oh, that's a cracking nade from Wanderer.
Look at them all, Lee. They instantly just snap to them. They want to confirm this. G2 need to make some sort of advancement. Winstrike get involved and steal that one away.
Wow, yeah.
And all of a sudden, G2 split between the wind. They're going to hit in the front and back. This could be a very low placing again for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, it will be a placement point, but that would be about all. Remember, they lost one to TSM. Did manage to get Gustav down, but as you say, it's when you're in that situation, you want to be looking at 5+ points per game to try and average out the 25, sort of 30 points a day. So in this situation, they're going to be looking at getting 5 to 7 minimum, I would say, but they are in a horrible spot now. And Winstrike and M19 are actually both looking for kills, because M19, they have to move. They've got the blue on the back, so they've got to push into G2 now.
ENCE have had a warning shot.
NIP moving.
Liquid do return.
NIP are moving, and FaZe are lighting them up. Can they catch them?
Yeah, this is the problem, is that they're going to run out of one way. There's only a 3-man stack here. Okay, you're down to 2 on Liquid, and you're down to 3 on FaZe, but they're going to be in open ground. Liquid's right next door to them. As soon as this fight engages, either Liquid knock out NIP and FaZe get involved, or it's the other way around. This is a bit of a domino effect.
It's the same ditch that NIP played against the Knights. It's the exact same position. The ditch is where the FaZe are, is where the Knights were. The Knights came out on top in that fight against NIP,
remember,
but it was a close-run thing.
Both these teams will have committed utility as well. G2's now in 8th position. That's not good for them. Liquid's still lingering on the edge of this fight.
FaZe are going looking.
But at the moment, NIP and FaZe, this is where it could all go down. Shots are initially being traded back and forth, and NBS, you can see, switches out to the grenade so far. Mexi does the same.
There's a couple of ditches which will favour the nades as well. That's the thing. And
they'll roll over towards you.
They will trickle down if you can get your angles right. We haven't written off the Knights yet, by the way. This is their home ground. This is their backyard. And they have 4 alive up here in a prime spot. A couple of nice headshots from Reels there, who had a pretty popping first week, but kind of faded away since then. The rest of them, ENCE have moved around the backside of Winstrike and N19. There's about to be a big old clash on the hillside.
The Finnish magnets, once again, just drive towards one another. Initial nades open up. You'd expect with this curvature of the hill that nobody would be found. It'd be rather unlucky. Squeaky sees Tixu, but the response is there. He's pushed back 21 HP, but the stims are already on. This is what you see with this level of play. They'll pre-stim, so the health will keep ticking away, try and keep them alive.
myk'le is about to surprise. Trifili comes over the top. Can
Hitting
they
the back
catch
as well.
Timmy and Nuki out? As you mentioned, M19, they're also moving in, so they've got nowhere to run in this spot. It's actually M19 are kind of running into ENCE as well. ENCE have already taken 3 teams down. There goes Joski. Rustan Mar gets him down. Timmy gets spotted. myk'le comes over the top. He's down to nothing, but he gets away with it. Now Squeaky finds EHOT and Konstantin. They're up to 12 kills and counting. Nuki's the last man standing. Trifili going hunting for him. He's going to get around the side, straight on towards him. Windstrike will go down in 7th place. 13 kills and counting. ENCE, they're hunting for TSM's 21-game streak.
The Finnish death squad just keeps rolling through players left and right. Jempty, Kramer. That's 2 different teams from 2 different sides.
The Knights have pushed them. They've caught them off guard. myk'le's down, Trifili down. Rustam Mar and Squeaky, the last 2 standing. Sorry,
they're going to go for this one. You might as well push onto it. You got Rustamai, you could clean them up on the side of ENCE, but you also might be able to pick them up on the side. Nades up and over, job done. Now turns his attention to NOT. 15 kills in the bag you see from one side on ENCE. But the Knights, they might be able to pick up.
FAZE have engaged. They've naded on Miraku. Mexi's caught one, so FAZE might try and push onto NIP. They're on the edge of the circle as well. Squeaky, 15 kills is incredible. Rustam Mar with 6, by the way. He was the top fragger and continues to be with 6 in the bag here.
NIP have gone for the res, so they're down. MBS has taken point on the backside, so he's got an elevated line of sight, but FAZE are sweeping around slowly but surely. They're also in a ditch. 1 good grenade is all it takes to knock out 2, maybe even 3 people here. They're forcing them into a bottleneck.
Uber spots them backing away. MBS pushes down, though. That nade's coming towards him. It's going to go off towards the tree. Rustamar and Squeaky finished off, so ENCE will go down. 5th place for them, but my God, they had 15 kills. They couldn't quite top TSM's 21-kill game in game 1, and now FAZE kind of got to watch their backs. 3 Knights coming towards them, 2 Team Liquid, and NIP all looking towards FaZe Clan in the center. Sorry, 4 Knights on their feet.
This is where it could go horribly wrong for FaZe because they're in the prime territory, prime position. Unless they're in the hold their nerve, everyone will just aim towards them because everyone wants a third party and get involved.
Oh, look at this. Reals can just...
FaZe is basically a big red magnet at the moment.
They're in the spot. I think the only thing saving FaZe right now would be if NIP peaked or something like that and Knights saw them. But Knights are probably going to want that ditch. Remember, they were talking about that ditch before where they revived them?
So
the Reals was saying, is it safe?
That shot from Samty rings the alarm because they aim towards him. So now Uber's been given the information. Now he's been fed that there are players lingering on the edge. So you get the 2-1 split. Uber will watch the back lines. It's him. They have to keep NIP in check if they make any kind of push. Because I tell you what, the Knights are so close here.
Voxic trying to come over the brow of the hill. Oh, the circle's gone on to FaZe.
He's been hit hard.
The circle went on to FaZe. Yeah, Uber spotted, Mexi spotted, Voxy gets the spray down. He comes over the top and now wait for the nades. Wait for NIP to come charging. NIP are going to push on this. They know that the FaZe are in trouble, but they have to face the Knights as well. They're pushing towards them. A nade catches 8C. He gets down to nothing. A second nade rounds around the back, but Jempty is sneaking behind NIP.
This is just third party galore. And unfortunately for your FaZe clan, you're caught in the midst of it all.
He's just going to get the revive off.
Starts to open up, but the bullet from across the map finds his face. He's down, not quite out just yet. 1 player from Liquid still remaining. Samty, could he be the spoiler here for the Knights? Could he dink them up and do enough damage so FaZe can get stuck in because Uber's still holding that point?
He got Mexi back on his feet, so FaZe back to 3 as the Knights really in prime position, honestly. They have the hill, they have the rocks, and they have the circle. Samty is still sneaking around down low. Jempty's going to be done and dusted. Samty finds himself a tree to hide behind. And now it's on NIP and Pittsburgh Knights because FaZe, they're sitting in the ditches in the smoke.
So they'll try and wait this one out. They can see the bullets going across the head. The nades aren't coming their way. They're actually aiming for another NIP in the Knights. 8C, time to go, my friend. But Miraku sees him first. All of a sudden, the guns are out. 1, 2, thank you.
That was amazing. That was such a nice push over the ditch from NIP. They came from both sides. The second 8C got down, Mexi spun around to face them and instantly caught in the back by Gaxi. So nicely played on this ditch.
Oh, but he might get involved in this one. The grenades are coming out, and as a one-man band, I suppose, what else really can you do? If you can scrape some points off the bottom of the barrel, then you might as well go for the flush. The blue will start to force this engagement further.
They're going for it. The thing is, they're gonna catch and trip over Uber as they try and push forward. They're looking for NIP, but Uber's the one they're gonna find. He catches 1, spins around, gets 2 down. FaZe will finally drop in 4th place. Will he be able to get those back on their feet, though. Remember, Samty, he's still out there. Samu could come in and try and cause havoc here. NIP with just one on their feet at the moment. Miraku crawls down.
Oh, they'll be so
NBS going to get
exposed.
in there. Samty's coming towards them.
If he sees them now, they are so exposed. Smokes are going to go out. Unfortunately, it hits the player in the side of the head, which actually puts it in a bad position. Now he's giving away his position. If he comes over with one grenade, that'll be job done and good night.
He's sticking down. He's sticking low.
This would be huge for NIP. If they get a second win on the board, like, this almost potentially confirms them for London.
The Knights have got 4 back on their feet. NIP, I mean, this has put a lot of points on the board regardless. Remember, NIP are actually chasing Team Liquid. TL, I don't think they had too many points out of this game other than placement points, but that's going to get met. Samty gets 1, gets 2, gets 3! Oh, Samty just wrecked the hopes and dreams of NIP getting second place as he sprays them down.